Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking to one of my favorite professionals that I and my clients like to work with. His name is Tony Rubin. So Tony, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for having me. I'm Tony Rubin. I'm a financial advisor, and I have a practice within the private client group at Wells Fargo Advisors. And my partner and I work with accomplished professionals and families on helping manage their financial affairs, primarily their investments and their investment strategy. So thanks again for having me.
Sure. So Tony, how'd you get started in your field?
Well, I've been in the financial services industry for a very long time, both from private equity and wealth management. And so my partner, who's a cousin of mine, asked me to join him a long time ago. And finally, I made the leap and joined him and just really love what I do. I don't consider what I do work. So it's really exciting to help families accomplish their goals and help them reach whatever objectives they're trying to accomplish.
Okay, great. So if someone came up to me and said, what does Tony do? What's the best answer I could give them?
Yeah, that's a great question for someone in our field because there's just so many things that we do. But I would say for the most part, we're here to help basically manage someone's financial affairs so that they don't have to. Whether it's insurance needs, whether it's specifically investment needs or managing the various accounts or helping them with cash flow and figure out what's life going to look like eventually when I retire? Where will I get money from? How will it work? I'm so used to working and getting a paycheck. Eventually, at some point in time, I'm going to retire. And how do I get money every month? Or what would be the process? But also, how do we help save, or how do we buy a larger home, or how do we plan for retirement living, or whatever the goals and objectives might be? And specifically for business owners, it's helping them understand sort of a diversification strategy, since so much of their lives and financial lives have been tied up in their business for so many years.
So what's a common myth about your job that you run into when you talk to people?
That we know it all. You know, we don't know everything, and certainly we try to navigate based on geopolitical events, macroeconomic environments, and so on and so forth. But the reality is we individualize every single household's portfolio to them individually. So it's not a one size fits all. And I think there's a myth out there that, we just, would take someone or client's money and just put it in some model and they're the same as everybody else. Many advisors do that, but in our practice, we don't. It's all about the individual and the individual household so that we can help not only achieve those objectives and goals, but manage that risk-reward ratio for them individually and not just assume that they're one like everybody else.
Okay. And you've mentioned the word advisor a couple times. A lot of people will ask me, what's the difference between a financial advisor and a financial planner?
Great question. There's actually a third one, which people refer to us as wealth managers as well. So there's a lot of terms that are sort of synonymous with one another. Oftentimes, a financial planner specifically might spend a lot of time on just planning rather than investment strategy or basically the investment component. Where in our case, as financial advisors or wealth managers, we really do focus on helping somebody manage their investments and manage that strategy of how to invest their money. At the same time, we do the financial planning. We don't look at them as separate. But as far as I'm concerned, if I don't know where we're trying to go from a financial plan perspective, it really doesn't help to just manage assets, because then I don't know if I'm taking on too much risk or not enough risk, or is the money tax efficiently invested based on the fact that we may need it sooner rather than later, or depending upon how it's actually bucketed. So it's a whole host of things that come together. And I would say financial advisors and wealth managers, we tend to do a lot of it, where sometimes a financial planner may look at themselves as really just doing mostly planning.
Okay. And Ken, you've been doing this for a while. What's the one thing about your business that you didn't expect?
That I didn't expect. Great question. I would say one specific component is I didn't expect for so many people in the community to be so complacent per se with the overall markets. For a decade, the market just went straight up, and so many people said, well, I'll just put my money in a specific index, or I'll put all of my money just in some fund and let it be and let it run. And I don't really need to do a whole lot of management, and I really don't need an advisor to help me manage my investments. I really am surprised that there is so much of that, just because the markets are so volatile. Things have changed so much just in the last decade on how money is actually managed, that complacency concerns me, because as we've seen the market have a huge decline recently, we see inflation and interest rates rising to levels we haven't seen in a very long time. I don't think that old strategy of just saying, hey, I'm going to leave it in something and just see what happens is good. Makes me nervous.
Okay. So if you're talking to like a younger version of yourself, if there was someone who wanted to get involved in your field, what advice would you give them?
Come into a team. Don't try to come into this business, start out at the bottom and say, I'm just going to call every person I know and I'm going to go get every little account that I can and I'm going to grow my business the way that this business actually started 30 and 40 years ago. Back then, we were basically called stockbrokers. We'd call people up and buy stock and look to sell them things. Now it's not that way anymore. I would say we're much more consultants, if you will. And I would say, come and join a team, learn all the specific areas from individuals that are experts in those areas and become just a really good, knowledgeable financial advisor so you can help somebody across the board. But come into a team with all that additional support rather than trying to come in and just figure out everything on your own.
Okay. Let's take a little step away from the office. We've got a pretty good handle on what you do when you're at the office. So if you were going to write a book tomorrow, what would you write about?
My life. I'd write about all the things that I've seen, all the experiences I've had. I've traveled to, I don't even know how many, 30, 40 countries. I've traveled to most states in the United States. I love to travel. And again, I don't see work as work. And so I'd love to tell stories of some of the experiences that I've had in my professional career, my education, as well as all of my personal things with travel and my kids and things of that sort. To me, that would be just a lot of fun to kind of look back and say, wow, that was my life.
Okay, great. And obviously, as you said, you've got kids. So if you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
Being a great friend. Whether it's to my kids, whether it's to friends or family, I care. I really care about people genuinely, and I want to be cared about genuinely, but I treat people the way I would want to be treated. And I just really am one of those individuals that says, if someone's going to become a client or I'm going to be friends with somebody, I want to enjoy them. Life's so short that let's surround ourselves with the people that we really want to be with.
Okay, great. Like me, you're running a business, things get really busy. So what's your favorite productivity hack? What helps you, stay on top of all these things?
Great question. Recently, I have now put onto my iPhone sleep mode. So at a certain time at night, at basically 11 o'clock at night until 6 o'clock in the morning, my phone does not alert me of anything that goes on. So even if I'm still awake and I'm using the phone, it doesn't do that. So it's a way for me to kind of dial down, not be constantly interrupted with either messages or, pop-ups or things like that. So it really gives me a chance to kind of shut down for those hours and have an opportunity to, kind of reduce some of the noise that happens all day, all night long.
So that's why you don't answer my calls after 11 o'clock.
You're right.
All right. What books are you currently reading?
That's a great question. So I have gotten some awesome books, and one book that I have yet to read here is Lead Yourself First. And oftentimes I think as a business owner or someone running a business, we can get so busy deep into the woods that we just don't have a chance to focus on the overall business and talk about leadership and some of the things that we do. So I'm really looking forward to reading this book specifically.
Great. Well, Tony, it's been great learning a little bit about your practice and a little bit about you. So what's the best way that people can connect with you?
Thanks, Andrew. We have a website, randrfinancialgroup.com. Can also be found on the Wells Fargo Advisors.com website, or somebody could reach out to me at Tony.Rubin, R-U-B-I-N, at WFA.com. Or let's pick up the phone. Let's have a chat. 612-340-4589.
All right, perfect. But don't call it after 11 o'clock.
Right. Or before 6.
All right, Tony, it's been great chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrew. Again, thanks for having me.